What's up? What's up, people?
What's up, everybody?
What's going on? Welcome to, I'm going to crank up this music just so you can feel me real quick. Let's start from the beginning. Catch a vibe today, man. We are live at the WIMSA conference, and welcome to another episode of the Foureva podcast.
Foureva Media.
Foureva podcast, where we really focus on amazing topics and talk about business, but also things that are personal, because business is personal all the time. And today, there's no exception. We have an amazing episode where we're going to be talking about podcasting
with a purpose.
Thank you for finishing that. Podcasting with a
purpose.
Hey, so we're going to turn down this music. And we really want to talk about, podcasting in the sense of doing it for a mission, for a cause, for something greater than yourself, and talking about topics that are relatable to others.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I like what you said, but before we started on air, and you were basically like, hey, you should podcast for nothing. If you don't even know what the podcast's about, you probably should just podcast.
Yeah,
because
you can podcast for anything.
You can accidentally trip over success.
There you go.
With the podcast.
And while that's true, if you are podcasting with a purpose, if you are podcasting for a cause or something that's important, think how much that can motivate you to do every episode, to put a lot of effort in, to make it really good, to speak with passion
100%
out to the people. You don't have to manufacture that passion. And if that reaches somebody that you can change life, it makes it worth it. A lot of times with podcasting, people don't want to do it, or they're apprehensive because they don't know what kind of return they're going to get on it. And if you're only looking to, like, as soon as I do 10 podcasts, they're going to be beating down the door to give me sponsorships, it ain't going to happen. That's not what this is about. You
never really want to start a podcast to build up this gigantic Joe Rogan audience.
Unless you're Joe Rogan, then that's absolutely what you want to do.
Because that's, I mean, just to be honest, that podcasting is one of the hardest things to build up an audience on. But why you should do a podcast is that you're podcasting for a purpose. You're trying to get a message, and you're trying to collaborate, you're trying to connect with others, and get amazing brand awareness, especially if you're doing on all different types of media. So you're doing on video, you're doing on audio, you're doing blogs, micro content. I mean, there's so many different things, graphics, just to show like who's the next guest that you're inviting. What are some good quotables from that podcast? There's a ton of good things that you can create from a podcast, and you don't have to think so hard when it comes to what do I need to post for content.
Well, and even the idea that you're not going to get 1 million people right off the bat to be listening to you. You can put this out as additional content on YouTube. You can put it as snippets on Instagram. If you have a following on a different platform, you can leverage that, and you're also doing it both ways. You're creating content so you can have something to show which looks cool. Like, this looks awesome the way we have it set up.
Don't we look dope?
It advertises what we do.
If you're listening, don't we sound dope?
Can we get a clap? Come on. Oh, I got to turn it. Didn't even do it. There it is.
There's the clap. There it is.
So
there's
cheers.
The applause.
The uproarious applause. It looks awesome. It's shareable. And you will reach some people. It's just that nobody's going to know about it.
Yeah.
But the cool thing is, once you start building an audience with it, they can go back and listen to all the catalog of things that you've done before. So it's not like it's wasted time. You just have to temper your expectations. You're not going to be a rock star day one because you started a podcast. That's not going to happen.
But Randy, I don't know if I can be a podcast host.
You might be right. You know what? It does take a certain personality.
What am I supposed to say? How do I'm not as charismatic. I freeze up in front of the camera. The mic scares me. I look at that thing and it's just like, what is that thing? Scary as all could be. What do I do?
That's why you're speaking with a purpose.
Oh, you really got to do it. And do it. And do it.
Until the job gets done.
Until the job gets done.
If you're speaking from your passion, if you're speaking honestly and frankly, everybody knows how to speak. That's the thing. What happens is you put technology in front of them, you put a camera on them, and they get weird. They get real weird about it. And there are just some people who are not interested in leveraging their talents that way, where they don't want to be out in front of people. That's fine. Right. Find someone who's equally passionate that you can support and help and be part of getting the message out through a podcast. That would be another great thing. And if you're even bad right now, you're going to get so much better. Go look at everybody. Joe Rogan's podcast was garbage when he started.
Oh, everybody's podcast.
Everybody. There's nobody I've ever seen where unless they were doing something
hire
else.
us.
Unless they hire us. And we'll polish up. But anybody who started
Squeaky
themselves.
Yeah.
Unless you do that, no, most people, if it's brand new to them, you're going to stumble, you're going to fumble. It's going to be hard for you to do unless you come from a background where you've already had experience. And thus, you were terrible there, but you just aren't now because you already went through the terrible times. Just like you're doing everything else. Right. It's like someone gave you a bike and said, go ride it, and you fell over. You don't just give up, or you're never going to ride. So you just keep going, you keep trying, you keep getting better and more engaging, and you get feedback from people, and you adapt and modify.
You make it sound so easy, Randy.
Everyone can do it.
I just don't know if it's right for me. And then so we hear that a lot, where a lot of people will say, well, I don't know if we're the right ones to do that, or we'll get to that eventually, but they're overthinking it. It's not a priority. Well, I'm here to tell you that you can't afford not to do it, because it is such a medium where people are even using podcasts for onboarding. So they're even thinking about, how do you record a bunch of audio for a podcast? And so you have a new person starting, have them listen to a podcast instead of watching some boring training video that you got in 1970.
Have them get to know the CEO in a more intimate, more natural setting where they're just getting to talk about what they believe in. That could be great. And again, you're not trying to have a huge audience. Your goal isn't even to do it for millions of people. It's so that every person gets to have a very digestible and easy access source of information for their people internally. That's another great use for it. Imagine if a CEO of a big company who was only, let's say, had 500 employees. I mean, maybe that's medium size, but say you've had 500 employees and just did a podcast about what we're doing, like a State of a Union type address periodically. It was a way to get information out to them to show that you care and that you're really doing an engaging communication. Who wants to read an email? Things are going great. I'm really proud of you guys.
I'd rather hear
Keep up the good work.
I'd rather see it, hear it, really engage with it.
It's another great way to use this medium.
It's just a thing that you can do once. So you take 30 minutes of your time, like we're doing now. We're literally at a conference. We're filming this conference. We're connecting with some amazing people. And then we squoze in a podcast. Where we're at the booth right now. I mean, I know if you're watching through video, this setup looks fire. It just does.
Boom, hit it.
But we were able to even squeeze it in, even in our busy schedule, and in 30 minutes of our time. Now, this is going to create probably over 100 pieces of content with just one podcast for 30 minutes. And I don't have to have a team to figure out, what are we going to actually post? What's going to happen? We're just naturally going to have content come out of this. And yeah, we're charismatic guys. I mean, we kind of do this flawlessly at this point, but we've sharpened the knife enough where then, like Randy was saying in the beginning, you have to just really practice makes perfect, which builds the confidence, because confidence will really set you apart. And Randy has,
I don't even know why,
some skeleton hands because we're right around Halloween. But look, it's really crucial for you to start looking at podcasting in a different light. And that's what Forever Media does. This music is starting to crack now, so we're going to turn this down slightly, but that's what we do. And this is, you can say that this is a kind of a little bit of a commercial, but it's also, this is reality. This is exactly what you need to be thinking about when it comes to your marketing and how your brand awareness is getting out there for recruitment, for retention, also for diversity and inclusion. There's so many types of things you can use this podcast for, and you may just be thinking of, oh yeah, there's that one crime podcast that I like to listen to, and that's all I think about. And like, how are you going to use this for our business selling cupcakes? You need to start thinking about different ways, and this is why we're here to say that I want you podcast for a purpose.
A lot of people discount the information that they have. No matter who you are, you probably are much better, if not an expert, in one area that someone else would like to get into. So you already naturally have talents and expertise that you could leverage. And what you think is rote and boring and pointless, someone else would be fascinated by how you did it, right? So if it's making cupcakes, it's talking about the struggles of owning a bakery, right? It's talking about the passion that they have for serving other people and serving food.
Yeah.
That's the purpose they might
What
be
you
looking
using
for.
in that icing? You know, what's
How
going
do you
on
get
with
it so
them
fluffy? How do you get the
sprinkles?
cakes? Yeah. Those sprinkles.
What's going on with that? People want to know the journey. They want to know the struggles. They want to have that relatability with your content. Stop selling and start being relatable on your content, and really start connecting with your audience. Your audience can't connect with you because you're talking at them. You need to start talking to them and having a conversation.
Absolutely. And people love all variety of things. So just start trying some stuff. Start putting out content that you think is interesting, or that you're interested in learning more about, or that's relevant to what you're doing, and then see what people respond to. It doesn't mean that you want to take a key from every critic and every hater, but the feedback that you get, "Ooh, I really like that topic. Oh, that was
Right,
really interesting. Nobody's talking about that. Oh, I wish we could hear. Can you tell that more? Go in more in depth this time." Then you can say, you know what, I can provide even more information about that. I didn't realize people needed to hear that, but there's someone out there that needs what you have. And if you can connect that and get your drive to have a purpose, it can be less about the downloads and shares and numbers and more about touching a couple people with an important message. And God bless you if it grows and it turns
Oh
into
my
something
God.
more.
Imagine if it works.
What if it works?
Imagine if it works.
Then you'd have new problems to deal with.
Imagine if you stop thinking and it works.
Right. And why not try it? And if nothing else, you get more comfortable. This medium of video and communication is not going anywhere.
No.
Even if we're not doing podcasts, we're doing, I don't know, holographic projections in the future.
Like Michael Jackson.
Michael Jackson doing
Showing up.
performances at Tupac. We got Tupac. He never did. If we're doing that, you're still going to need to know how to tell people a message, tell people a story, communicate effectively, not stumble all over your words, not fall apart under pressure. This is a skill worth building.
You might actually become a better speaker because of it.
You need that for everything. You become better at selling your ideas. People don't realize how important selling is. Selling my idea to someone, selling my passion to someone, getting somebody on board that can help out. Imagine if you're a not-for-profit and you're looking for people to help out and volunteer. Well, why should they volunteer?
Right.
What if they happen to listen, they catch an episode, they go and look, oh, they do a podcast. I'm checking out their website. They do a podcast. What are they about? They might spend 40 minutes just listening to your passion for why you do it and say, I want that. I want to feel like that. I want to be a part of something and be able to work with someone like that. There's so many opportunities there. You should just get started right now.
I mean, if you're thinking about getting started, you definitely should stop thinking and just do it, because it's something that's going to evolve you and evolve your team, evolve your company in a whole new light, in a fresh new medium that maybe you're like, hey, I'm just in the financial industry. I'm just in technology. Maybe I'm in staffing and recruiting. Maybe I'm just a nonprofit that I don't know if we can look cool. You know, that's what the cool kids are doing with this podcast stuff.
Or I'm too old. I'm too old for that.
Too old.
I can't just talk.
I've seen a lot of different types of podcasts be successful by simply just getting started and doing it. And especially if you're doing with somebody that can help you with a helping hand, along with it, because the other side of podcasting is the video aspect. So that's like really the aesthetics, the presentation, the polish that you need to have with the podcast, because that just elevates everything. So I would say from just getting started on your own, grabbing your phone literally and sitting in the middle of a table and having a conversation with two people and pressing record, doesn't take any type of money or budget or anything, all the way up to a produced podcast of something of all these different media that you can have for a podcast, and having that polish. Now the only difference is that obviously the more of a head start you can get, the better, and the more brand awareness and tools that you have to get that message out there in podcasting with a cause, the better results you're going to have as a return. But just get started. That's all we're saying, is that we go from like, what they're saying, it sounds like it's expensive, but then it's like, okay, if it's expensive to you, why don't you just get started today? Just get your phone out. It takes 30 minutes.
It's the best way to find out.
I don't care if you have bite size. Maybe it's just 10-minute bite size, podcast.
It's a 10-minute rant.
It's a rant
about cupcakes.
Do something, upload it. It's free.
With very minimal effort, you could get started. I'm talking maybe a 15 minutes to a half an hour of research online, and using your phone, even using phone's camera, phone's audio for your first one, and get comfortable with doing it and upload it and see what happens and feel it. See if you like the experience. Do you like talking about it? Did you share something that was meaningful to you and you started from nothing? That's great. You don't have to invest in everything to start, because that'll be great when you're on episode 100. You can go back and go, look at how terrible this was. Look at how stupid I sound and how grainy it looked and how the audio cracked. And now we're here, right? Started from the bottom. Now we're here.
All the time, man. Give it that Drake message.
Started from the bottom. Now, yeah.
But then I think that let's just talk about the cause part. So podcasting with a cause. Now, having a mission and having something that you can represent with people, and connection and building something that's a bigger purpose. What are ways that people can do that through content?
Well, if you have a powerful message and you get it out there, and you chop up something like this and you turn it into sound bites, or you turn it into little memes or video clips, all that is a little more advanced. But if you have a cause, hopefully you have been good at doing something. So maybe you've been good at raising a little bit of money, or you have people who are willing to invest because they believe in your passion and what you're selling that they're doing. And once you get to that point, you get someone who is a little more of an expert in those different areas, and then turns that into usable bite-sized content all over the internet to get your message out. So when I'm doing this for a half an hour, I can create, like you said, hundreds of content out of that.
Really
even
infinite. If you, I mean, you can create so much content out of it. It's ridiculous.
It could be
every
still
line
pictures
that
of
you're
this.
saying could be a headline, and then a title for a video, and then something gets posted, even if it's 30 seconds, 60 seconds. And you can really break down a lot in 30 minutes.
It could be pictures with quotes. There's all kinds of mediums that can come out of this that people enjoy. They just enjoy pictures of us laughing with a quote from it that inspires them to go take action. Hey, start podcasting today with a picture looking like two people are having a good time. We love it, right? But there's so much. But then the reason I think that it's important are that they already have the passion for what they're doing. They just need a way to get that out. So you have the passion, get it out there to people. It doesn't matter what it is. You can be passionate. That's the thing about like causes. It's not a cause, but if you're passionate about action figures, you're going to find an audience of people that are passionate about action figures. If you're passionate about like the EMT conference that we're at, or the WIMSA event, these are all people that are not here. As someone said, you're not going to be driving around in a Ferrari being an EMT or saving people's lives. That's not what all the people that are in this come to it. But imagine if you were the person who could influence maybe their friends to want to join. They've been telling them, oh, you would be great at this. You have just such a service heart. You care about people. You should come work with me. I don't know. You could be the one that helps them. They're sharing their passion with them. Now you're another person on there sharing that, and you're helping the whole industry get better and save lives. That's a pretty big cause that you could use something like this for.
And another way to say that is that when you have a podcast, you now are able to host the party. You're able to have leverage. You're able to have something that people can actually be on. So they can involve themselves with your cause, with your mission, without having to buy into it. Without having the cost to entry of it. Now you have something that you can say, hey, I have a platform and I want you on it. Now you're giving instead of getting. And that's really powerful. If you really think about that, the most powerful things really in the world today are platforms and leverage of control of something that if you have something of demand that somebody else wants, you have leverage. So just simply by starting a podcast, putting up a website, or putting it out on just the audio version, or posting out on social media, you are starting to have leverage where people are starting to say, hey, I want to be on that. And all of a sudden now you control you control the narrative. You are now in control of it. And that's just so powerful when it comes down to a mission or something like that, where you want people to get onto your mission, but you're just saying, gimme, gimme, gimme. Now this is like, hey, this is what you're getting. Let me give you this opportunity to come on the platform to be able to talk about this mission. And it's really, you're getting, but you're giving instead?
Well, one, you're becoming an influencer, is what you said. Hey, you're always an influencer.
Dive into that.
Let me put this on for you.
Come on.
No matter who you are, somebody's looking up to you. No matter who you are, somebody is watching you. And as soon as you put yourself out there and you just expand your level of influence, but now you're getting around like you're talking about, you have something to offer. Well, this person works in another industry. I feel like they're just way more accomplished, or they make more money than me. I just don't feel like why would they want to talk to me? You created a platform that they can share their message with people. Right. They can spread their influence. So they're going to want to get on there. They're going to want to talk to you, and they're going to want to be a part of it because you guys are growing together. You are creating more influence, especially if they're equally passionate and you're equally passionate and they can tell you are. Why wouldn't they want to do that? And then you are an influencer. You're someone who can steer the ship. You're someone who can drive it. You don't got to
be Kim Kardashian to be an influencer.
That's right.
You don't. Influencers just simply to influence other people. Mm-hmm. You know,
you're a voice,
positive or negative. You are a voice. Mm-hmm. You know, and you can be an influencer even with a small audience. You don't need this gigantic, stadium of people. Mm-hmm. You can be a micro influencer. You can be somebody that is just in your town as an influencer. There are so many levels of an influencer, and you can become that almost instantly with a podcast.
Mm-hmm. A platform. It's it's a springboard.
That platform is just.
Do we got a sound effect for that?
I just imagined like the Looney Tunes, like where they step on that wrong spot and then they just get shot up into the air.
The Acme, the Acme thing, where the Roadrunner runs by and Wile E. Coyote gets on there and then he knocks it, but instead it like shoots the spring or something. But if it worked properly, it would launch him ahead to influence the Roadrunner.
Yeah, it'll launch him forward. Yeah, I mean it's just super powerful, and the type of people you get to connect with and talk with, and you just never know where it's going to lead you down. We've now met so many different types of people that we would have never thought we could even meet before, just by having a platform, just by creating influence, by connection, and really just bringing people on, and all of a sudden. Like we were just down in Dallas, with Shay Rowbottom and Julian. He has a show that's called Pathways to Success, and it's awesome. This place is like decked out. I mean, it looks like an Oprah studio. That's basically what it looks like. And we got connected through social media. Now, what appealed to us is that we've been following him on
LinkedIn,
and so he had a platform. He had something that was attractive, where it's like, hey, I would love to connect with this guy and see what he's about. And then we shot him a message and said, hey, we're going to be in town. This is what we do. And this is what's going on. And he said, sure, come on by. Yeah. Let's do an episode, and got Shay on there. So I think that having those platforms just creates another open door that you didn't even know was possible, that you're like, hey, this is another way that I can connect with people. So there's just so many different ways to really build that. And podcasting, video, social media has really changed the game of how to build that overall connection.
We would have never met him if he was just some guy with a great idea. Never. Hey, I'm really passionate about this. Yeah. I should do something with that. Well, we would have never met him. So the fact that he had a show, or that you have a show, or that you're starting to do something, it tells people that you're serious. How else are they going to also know about you? That's all marketing, advertising, and sales. I can't find you. I can't find you if you got good ideas in your head. Who's going to find you to help you? Nobody.
Talking going on in this here United States.
There's a lot of talking here in the United States. I want people
that can do it and do it. So
it's funny because that video is before our time.
Art Williams, look it up. Do it video. It is amazing.
The full 20 minutes. Have you watched the full 20 minutes of that?
I have.
It's excellent.
It's good.
They chopped that last 5 minutes, which is like the crescendo. It's the bang, right? Yep. But the rest of it, it just builds on it. He's like, people are lazy. People are talking. People told me I couldn't do anything. People told me this.
People want some motivation, listen to Art Williams.
Just like 1982, 1983.
Oh my God, but it's gold. I get my whole team to watch it, and I'm about to do it. They're laughing, but I'm gonna keep playing it until they stop laughing and start doing it.
Well, they really got to do it now.
They really got to do it.
Well, not me, Art. Oh yeah, Jamar and I like to do that when we're like, oh, we got to get going. Oh, watch my smoke.
Watch my smoke. I'm really
going
to do it now.
Oh, you really need to do it. He's got so many one-liners.
What should I do, Art? Oh, you really got to
Yeah.
do it.
I was Mr. Everything in my last company. You don't mean I got to do it again, do you? Oh, you really got to do it. And do it, and do it, and do it till the job gets done. And be so proud of who you've become.
Man, gold.
We should have just led with
Gold.
that.
I know.
We're going to talk for 25 minutes, and then they'll just start their own podcast or whatever else they want to do. They're like, I got to go get it.
Oh, my God. I mean, it's just, it's the truth. You have to do it. You have to just get out there and take a step forward and just do it. Stop talking about it. Stop thinking about it. Just start taking action. Just start doing it.
Literally the worst thing that could happen is nothing. And if you don't do it, that's what's going to happen to you. The worst possible thing, which is nothing. And so
if you slip up and say the wrong thing, delete it.
And nobody cares.
And nobody cares anyway.
It's candid, and people actually prefer authentic content that actually has
real.
Mistakes.
We've messed up about 3 times on this podcast.
3 times tops, though. Tops. The rest of it was
tops. But I mean, we just go with the flow, and there's still a tremendous amount of value that you get out of this, and that's what people remember. They remember the value, not that little small thing that you think was a gigantic mistake.
Right. That could even
That's
endear you
true.
to somebody. They might actually appreciate you more to go, man, I'm better than this person.
Yeah.
That's what you want them to say.
Oh, yeah.
Man, how's he got so many followers? I'm
Oh, yeah.
way better. I'm way more. I know more about that subject than he does. Well, then do it then.
We'll go and do it then. Oh, you know what we forgot to do, actually? That we forgot to introduce ourselves.
We need no introduction.
Name is Jamar Jones, owner
We're gonna
of
have to
Foureva
edit.
Media. Also a speaker and an author of a book, Change Your Circle, Change Your Life.
And now another reading for the book of Jamar.
There we go.
Change your
There's the
circle,
book.
change your life.
Change your circle, change your life.
Thou shalt cast out the bums from thy circle. Need not be in your circle. And henceforth deal with look at I popped right to my name.
Hey, right there.
I found myself right in a
He's talking
book.
about bums and he's watching right
Hey,
to
what
his name.
chapter am I in? I made that up because I knew that was. I'm gonna check this out.
And who are you?
There might be a rewrite in here. We need a second edition.
Are you gonna let them know who you are? Or?
Oh, you already know who it is. Randy Wilinski, Project Assassin here at Foureva Media. Speaker, trainer, entrepreneur, driver.
On
occasion. Project Assassin is the best title I've ever held, though.
Yeah, I mean,
Project
it's pretty dope. Every time you tell somebody, they're just like, wait, what do you do?
Or the opposite. They're like, I saw you were the Project Assassin. That's the best. What does it do exactly? It doesn't matter. You don't really want to know.
He's like a ninja.
Right, just come in.
Chop, 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 chop.
Exactly.
So, in conclusion,
we did the front part on the back end. Whoops.
In conclusion, starting a podcast with a purpose is extremely valuable. If you don't want to do it alone, definitely reach out to us, forevermedia.com, and we'd love to have a conversation with you about it and to really help guide you into really kicking off this amazing start of something you don't even know it's possible. So it's
hey, having a purpose is the best. But even without a purpose, if you have a passion for whatever you have, and don't think it's too small, because someone else shares that passion. So if you have any ounce of passion, and even better, if you have a cause, because that will drive you to push through. When you put one out there and you get 2 listens, who cares?
Who cares?
You need to do another one because the mission is what's important.
So we're out. Follow us on all social media platforms. We are streaming this everywhere as far as Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple. And then YouTube, definitely check out the video version if you're listening through audio, and follow us on all social media platforms as well.
And hit us up when your cause goes on and makes a podcast and is successful. We want to hear it. Make it happen. Just do it.
Just do it.
And do it. And do it till the job gets done.
Till that job gets done. All right.
Bye.
Peace.